G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been about 3 weeks since I put anything up on YouTube, and a lot's been happening. As you can see in the background, the fish room is well and truly underway. Did a bit of a clean up today just for the purposes of this video because my fish room looked like an absolute bomb had hit it. Without going into too much detail, I want to thank everybody that's been making comment in relation to the fish room and giving me some ideas. I have put them into practice, and you'll see that throughout this video. I will explain from the last video where I left off to where I am now. So sit back, relax, hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Alright, so I'll put up a bit of an image of what this looked like just before I did a bit of a tidy up. It's still a mess, but I had to get all of this steel inside for the next lot of racking because we are expecting another week-long period of rain. We had an unusual warm spell of about 3 days, 18 degrees in the middle of our winter, which is a very rare event indeed. Okay, without talking and rambling on too much, as you can see, we have racks. We have racks in position and even tanks on shelving. There is water change systems going on. We've got air loops working out. It's all happening. These have been some extremely tedious jobs. Resealing tanks is not a fun process, I am here to tell you. And in the process of resealing tanks, I managed to break 3 whole tanks, as in 3 panes of glass. One was in the transit from the original location where I purchased the tanks, second-hand mind you, and the next one was, I was up on a ladder just here actually, and the tank was set down below, and I was putting in the saddles for the air system, and I knocked the drill from its resting location on that piece of steel straight down into the bottom of the tank, creating a big spider crack. And the last tank, which was this one, was down on the ground here. I picked it up in order to start resealing it, and I knocked it on the adjoining tank and basically set a crack right through the side. Do not put glass to glass, folks. It's a lesson I've learned very quickly. Alright, so resealing tanks. Let's just say I've become a little bit of a master of it. These tanks are only for grow out purposes. They're for breeding and alike. So I wasn't overly concerned about the quality and the cleanliness of my silicon work as long as I had a decent seal. So when you're resealing a tank, if it's just for the purposes of giving it a refresh, try not to damage the silicon that's against the glass. So if you can cut the internal silicon away and leave the tank basically stuck together with only the silicon that's in between here, as long as you can't see any gaps, like if there was any gaps down in here, you'd want to make sure maybe you have to pull the tank down and give it a complete rebuild. But I was fortunate that the seals in these tanks were really good. It was just the silicon internal that had degraded over time. All right, I'll put in here a little tip for you, but you can see here, these tanks, they're actually 120 centimetres by 45 by 45, or in feet, in inches, they're 4 foot by 18 inch by 18 inch. They are running a side filter, which is this section here. You can imagine that tank standing up. Hang on, let's flip around, I'll show you one here. So they're running a side filter, basically air driven. The mold and muck comes in through this location. Hopefully it settles here before it runs through a series of filter sponge, or my intention is to make it a moving media bed, so K2 or K1, and then out through the next section and with an air pump redirected into the tank. They consist of an overflow, which is up here in the corner, which will be handy when I get my automatic water system happening, and a clean out valve. So what I'm going to do is put a ball valve at the bottom of this bulkhead, and once the mulm and things start to build in here, I can stir it up and prevent a lot of the dirt going into the filter media itself, and do a quick water change if required, utilising that ball valve. All right, back to the point that I was trying to raise. As you can see, this side filter here, imagine if this piece of glass was on the top and I had to silicone down in here. I got a little tip for you, and I'll splice it into this video, whereby you can buy yourself, oh, where did I put it? See, I've cleaned up and now I don't know where anything is. There it is. If you buy one of these tubes, it will cost you 18 Australian dollars. There's 75 grams in here, which isn't a whole lot. If you buy one of these tubes, 310 grams, that will also cost you 18 Australian dollars. So you don't get a lot for your money when you buy one of these. However, what I did was to take the larger tube with the narrow nozzle, and once I'd squeezed this through, because that's what I used to get right down inside that glass partition like I showed you, I used the narrow end of the nozzle and I refilled this using the larger tube, and I've used that for 13 tanks so far. So I'm getting my money's worth and back out of that smaller tube. All right, what's next? The racks are Dexian racking, which are normally used for pallet storage. And what I had was visions of my old fish room where the timber was bowing, and I didn't put enough sufficient stays in case, in fact in point, it was actually termites eating the wall internal that I'd tied it into. But anyhow, I wanted something with longevity and security. So these racks that would normally hold a pallet are rated to 2 tons per shelf. So more than enough strength to do what I need them to do. The storage company that I purchased them from isn't going to get a mention because they're absolutely useless. They modified the width of the uprights to match the tanks. So this rack here in particular, between the horizontals should be 45 millimeters. It's 50. They let me down a little bit there. In any case, I still needed to run the boards, and this is what we would call a form ply, and it's for use in concreting normally. You can see here it says non-structural, but it is far more structural than a lot of other timbers out there, and it's covered in a film that prevents water soaking into it, and hence why it can be used in the concreting industry. I've used it because if you have any drips or alike, obviously the wood's not going to absorb that moisture and warp on you. On top of that plywood, I have used, we'll call them gym mats, even though they're not really a gym mat. I could touch the timber through that there. They're a gym mat, they're like 1 inch thick. These are very cheap versions of soft floor covering, but foam and polystyrene to purchase for tanks can be a nightmare. These were $7.50 for a pack of 4, and I think they have done the job deliciously. I am very happy with them for what they're requiring. I use, what is there? There's 5 on a rack, so do the math. It's not a whole lot of money. I unfortunately need 2 more packs to finish the rack. I didn't do my math, unfortunately, and that's what happened. All right, Moving on from there, let's talk about the air. So my air loop is virtually complete. The only thing that I haven't done to finalise my air loop is because I'm not sure where my centre rack is going to run as of yet. So the middle section of the air loop here is still open. So once I've determined that where that rack sits, I will either I'll cap this off or I will run the piping to do the top stay. As you can see, looking at the other side of the wall, the loop comes down and then meets that location over there. Sorry about the blurriness. And I've created basically an air ladder. So right across the top in 20mm pipe, down, across, and it all loops together. So the air consistency in that whole air ladder is basically I suppose all the same to every point. So the pressure and the flow can move through that piping, and hopefully that means that the bottom air, given that I'm using a blower, will be the same as what the top is. I've also installed over here on the wall the pressure regulator, so I'll be able to monitor the I suppose the output of the system and what it looks like at that end. At the bottom of each air ladder on each side of the room, I've run a drop. Now this is intended to catch any moisture. So as you know, compressed air or even atmospheric air has quite a lot of moisture in it, and as it builds up in your pipe work, it needs somewhere to go. And I'm just going to put a ball valve on the bottom there. And this was a tip from Jan at the Fish Club, who said that it's a must when you're running high volumes of air. So without taking the risk on it, I've done it on both sides here in order to have somewhere for that air to go. As I've said in the past, if the blower doesn't meet my needs, this system may be changed to piston or lineal pumps in order to get a higher pressure through the system. But for all intensive purposes, I've seen a lot of fish rooms, and anyone with a blower has plenty of air. Using the chrome ball valves, I've installed these so far. I've run out of them at the moment, but the old fish room has plenty. I'm starting to wonder whether I'm going to start robbing Peter to pay Paul and bring some of those in here just to get this rack finished. But what I'm utilising, and hopefully you can see this, I'll put it against something white. So hopefully you can see that, make that out. In any case, that drill bit has a thread on it, so when you immediately drill a hole, it starts to create the thread. That thread is the exact same size as the thread at the back of the ball valves, and given that this is the air line, I'm not running any Teflon tape, I'm just giving it a secure fit and tighten down, and I have never had any problems with that sort of fit out for air before. Given it as it will just escape through the largest opening, which, as luck has it, is where the air needs to go. All right, this side, I've got myself some blue airline. The intentions are that I'm going to run the blue on this side to indicate which is a filter line, and then I'm running the white to indicate the in-tank line, which will be either an air stone, like if you can make that one out, just to give some circulation in the tank. So we'll have air coming in, that air stone should pump it back up and create some sort of a whirly vortex to keep the sediment or the waste moving down to this corner. Just have to work out how that looks when the time comes. All right, from the airline, let's talk water. Massive topic in any fish room. This here is my array of solenoids, and I'm still waiting on my water filtration unit So I'm doing a 2-stage water filter on this location. So I'll be running a 20-inch sediment canister and a 20-inch carbon canister. And it will plumb directly into that 90-degree bend there on the left, and utilising the Inkbird, which is a Wi-Fi enabled irrigation timer, I'll be able to control the 8 stations which then feed the room. There's plenty of YouTube around on setting up a basically an irrigation system. So if you need to, please search or ask me down below. I'm happy to help if you need it. The brand name for this green bank of solenoid is Orbitz, which is Orbitz. These were purchased on Amazon and came from America. I noticed that there was a few aquarists over there in the States that had done a similar use of the solenoid package, and when I did the math and tried to work out all the parts, it worked out a whole lot cheaper just to buy these, which are pre-made and pre-fitted. And it looks so neat and tidy. I mean, you know, you can't really fault what's going on there as far as the cleanliness of for the room. I've run 20mm PVCU out of it because even though it's high pressure, it's not high pressure, and it's not intention. And the intentions are that the tap will be turned on to a certain pressure, which will be regulated, and that will feed then the main system. So pressure going in will equal pressure going out, and these then feed around the room. The 2 solenoids there on the right, they feed the right side of the room. The 2 solenoids on the left feed the left side of the room, and the 4 in the middle run up and do the center of the room, and they will run all the way to the front wall, where I'll also have racking eventually. So that's coming along well. The only hold up with the water setup is that all of my large Bunnings stores in my vicinity, I've bought them all out of the 20mm PVC pipe. There's none on back order, and there is massive issues around the world with obtaining PVC. So my job tomorrow is to attend another Bunnings store, which is about 30-40 k's away from me, in order to buy out what they have in stock for the piping. All right, drainage. Let's talk drainage. I'm running 90mm stormwater drains for my drain. Let's slide this out of the way so it can be seen. All right, so 90mm stormwater drain running at the base of this rack. And the reason for running 90mm is it's about the cheapest PVC that you'll find. Stormwater drain isn't expensive in comparison per length as to like your pressure pipes. I've placed a T-piece here that you can see in the center, and this is just a quick drop for if I'm doing manual water changes. I can throw my siphon into here, bang the tube straight down into this one, and pull water out of the top 2 levels anyway of tanks, and the bottom level, that will be picked up once I do the connection for the floor drain. All right, the overflows from the tanks go through a 90-degree bend and bulkhead down into what I've utilised is dishwasher overflow drain. It's corrugated, it's flexible, it's about 22mm, so it requires a clamp to hold it to the 20mm overflow, but it works perfectly as I have used it in my old fish room. So again, need to purchase some more of that in order to finish the overflow on the racking, but given its flexibility, it makes it very easy for getting in and around corners and piping. So from the top tank, overflow, middle, bottom, I've drilled a 20mm hole into the top of the pipe, ensured that I've got about an inch of extra length in the pipe. Used a little bit of silicone just to hold it there. No really need for it other than just a bit of security. And then that will disappear off to the corner, across to another T in the middle, and then all the way to what I'm going to do over the top of this floor pit. So there you have it, guys. What do you think? I'm very happy with the progress so far. I'm stoked with the way things are coming together, the water, the air. It's all looking really professional, but it was done by me. Not sure what's going on there. Very, very happy. It just shows you at home that you can do it too. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. So if there's anything that you've seen in my fish room that you want to know how it was done, what pipe, what fitting, whatever, I'm happy to help. So please reach out down below. If you need to know where to purchase something, I'll let you know where I purchased it. There's so much involved in creating a space like this, and if it wasn't for people that have gone before me and other YouTube channels, I wouldn't have reached where I am so quickly. But speaking of people with other YouTube channels, the Aquarium Society of Victoria is bringing across Cory McElroy. Cory McElroy is an aquarium co-op and probably one of the biggest names in the aquarium hobby at the moment. Great fella. He's agreed to come across and do a talk for the Aquarium Society of Victoria. Check out our Facebook page and our web page for this event. The 24th of October is a date that you must have in your calendar. If you're Victorian, make the effort, come on down and see him. We've booked out the Clarendon room at the Melbourne Exhibition Building. So 466 seats are on offer. If you miss out on a ticket, Cory's not coming back in a hurry, and the club will be, I suppose, worse off for not having you there. Do yourself a favour, buy a ticket, come across. $30 is the price of the tickets, just so you're aware. And basically, the Aquarium Society of Victoria is a not-for-profit club, so we are just trying to cover the cost of the hiring of the venue. We're also reaching out to partners and sponsors to assist us in creating an event, not just a presentation. We want an event. So keep an eye out for it. There'll be door prizes and all sorts of giveaways, as well as the opportunity to ask questions of Cory for yourself and probably meet the man at the end of the day. So get across. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've really put a lot of effort into making this my space, and I know it's all echoey and there's no bubbles and there's no water yet. It's pouring down outside, unfortunately, but that's Melbourne in winter. Have a great one. Reach out if you need. Get down to your local fish clubs, support them, support your local fish shops. That's what it's all about. Thanks for watching.